fans, it's Cammy Saint here, here to bring you a video on one of, if not the biggest, seismic shift in the football world. Where to begin? I don't know everything. I'm trying to inform you the best I can and the knowledge that I have. Let's start with its name. The European Super League, or the Super League, founded by the chairman of the International Champions Cup, Charlie Stilitano. He's an American businessman who has found the idea, it was brought up last year, to basically have all the best teams in the world play against each other in this big league. Basically like the Champions League, but domestically. We're going to break it down, we're going to talk about it and what's happened over the last few days. So as things stand, the ECA, also known as the European Club Association, have kicked out the top 6 clubs in the Premier League and other big clubs around the world, including Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona. I must say that clubs that have declined this invitation to join the Super League, PSG, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund declined the invitation. So hats off to them. Essentially there's 12 clubs involved with another 3 spots available, and we'll get onto that in a moment. The European Super League is supposedly going ahead. The ECA have effectively kicked out these clubs out of the Champions League, the Europa League. With these clubs being kicked out of the Champions League as things stand, this means that the only club still active in the Champions League is PSG. So we must give a round of applause to PSG on their Champions League win, and Mauricio Pochettino on his first Champions League win. So congratulations PSG. FIFA and UEFA have also banned players participating in this Super League from the Euros and the World Cup. So won't be able to use the likes of Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, John Stones, Phil Foden, any of those players in our World Cup or Euro squad if this was to go ahead. And like I said, as things stand, it looks to go ahead. Now this is terrible. Let's talk about things from the football side of things and what this means for football going forward. So for an example, the Premier League, as we all know and love it, have 6 big clubs: Manchester United, Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea. Basically it's a battle between the big 6 most of the time, but sometimes you get a season where Leicester win the league. Essentially these clubs have all been removed from the Premier League, and conversations are going to be had on how this affects the remainder of the season, how this affects the Champions League going forward, but effectively the Super League is due to start at the beginning of August. So let's talk about things, like I said, from the football side of things. So effectively, if you were a Chelsea fan, your club is now out of the Champions League, the Europa League, is out of the Premier League. You won't be participating in the FA Cup, you won't be participating in the Carabao Cup, none of that. You will be solely focused on the Super League. Effectively, it's 15 teams with 5 other spots available for clubs to be promoted into the Super League should they do very well in their domestic season. So say West Ham go and win everything, then they'll get the opportunity to play in the Super League and they'll go up. In regards to relegation from the Super League, it doesn't exist. These big clubs have paid their way to be in and they'll stay in. There is no such thing as relegation. And that ties in perfectly with the business side of things, which is football clubs are a business, fear the fact that they'll be relegated and they'll lose that high-end status. You know, if they get relegated, they won't get the same sponsors, they won't be playing the same teams, they won't be getting the same revenue from playing those teams. So as a whole, it impacts a business, and therefore taking the jeopardy of relegation away, you rule out that downfall as a business side of things. And you know, from a standpoint of that, it makes sense, but at the end of the day, it's just the rich being rich. There's no fear of relegation. There's no, oh, what's going to happen? Who's going to go down? There's none of that. Now, with the Super League, what it looks like, say you're a Chelsea fan and you'll be looking forward to 2 weekly fixtures, either taking place on a Monday and a Friday night. Effectively, you will be going away to potentially grounds around the world. So say the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Atlanta to watch Chelsea versus Real Madrid, and then on the Thursday you'll go and play Barcelona in Dubai. That's how effectively the Super League works. Now this guy, this Charlie Stilitano, the chairman and the brains behind this Super League, has tried to Americanize and basically make this a big financial competition to help grow the profits of these big clubs. Effectively the rich getting richer and the poor staying poor. You know, clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid and Juventus that are all in financial difficulty as a result of the pandemic and poor financial goings, obviously struggling for funds, now have obviously opted to go into this and the figures being thrown around are about 300 million per season in this Super League. In regards to transfers and stuff, with players switching clubs, I don't know how that's going to work. As a Saints fan, we'll go into a bit more detail later on, but it doesn't look like we'll be losing Danny Ings if this was to go ahead. I doubt Danny Ings would want to go and play in a Super League, but who knows? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. For football fans, it means that for the average football fan, you won't be able to go and afford trips away to Dubai and Barcelona every week. To arrange that and to afford that for the average football fan is not possible. Looking at things from the Premier League's point of view, the big six clubs of what gives Sky Sports and BT their money. People tune in to watch the big clubs play against each other because it's exciting to watch Man City and Liverpool play twice a season, potentially again in the cups. It's exciting, and that's what people pay to watch. Teams like Man City won't ever have to go to St Mary's or Turf Moor or the Amex ever again. They won't, and that's how things will be. Pros, I guess, it opens up the Premier League to different winners, but is it the same Premier League without the big six clubs, the same competitive style? It's not. From a business side of things, it makes sense, obviously, to inject all this money and make this whole new league, and the big clubs obviously getting richer for those that have gone ahead with it. As we know, people have stepped down. Ed Woodward of Man United has stepped down. Andrea Allegri has stepped down from the ECA. All these people are resigning. Jose Mourinho has left Tottenham as well. It's a massive seismic shift in football as we know it. I personally don't agree with it. As much as I'd love to see Saints pushing for top four now, hopefully, it's not going to be the same league anymore. Should a team like Chelsea or Liverpool decide they don't want to play in the Super League anymore, if they leave, they have to start from the bottom division all over again. They have to start from the National League and work their way up. They can't just drop back into the Premier League. Over the last few days, we've seen fans rioting outside of their club stadium. Obviously, the owners, this is only a decision of the owners of these football clubs thinking, we're going to get a lot of money from playing the best teams in the world twice a week. This is going to bring in so much revenue for us in a time when we need it. But to bring about an idea like this at this time is tragic. It's not the best time, lads. It's been a tragic year and a bit for a year and a bit for most people. People have lost loved ones. People have lost their jobs, are financially struck, and yet you wanna bring about this Super League so you keep getting rich. And it's awful. It's really, really sad to see football go this way. It's all been Americanized. This big Super League. I mean, the 12 teams that are in it are the ones that I named, but the last 3 spots I think will go to teams like Inter Miami and maybe Ajax as well. So it won't be, strictly speaking, a European Super League. It will just be called the Super League, with all the best teams in the world competing against each other. Now, it sounds great. This thing should take place in pre-season and have it alongside the Champions League and everything else. If you want to introduce that sort of competition, do that. It's another stream of revenue, and you keep everything the exact same way. You don't have to just strip everything else out. It's poor decision making. I don't know if it will go ahead. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's enough uproar from people, and hopefully real fans and not plastic fans will boycott the Super League and not watch it, and then they won't have any revenue, and then they'll just have to start all over again and scrap the idea completely. Hey ho, we'll have to see where that goes. Football fans, this is where we have to come together. Rivals, we have to push that aside. And as lovers of the game, and it won't be the same. Football will never be the same. Football fans, hope I've managed to inform you a little bit. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been Cammy Saint. We all have to march on.